Hey friendos, Merry Christmas. Today we're obviously taking a break from my usual setup. I'm here next to my fireplace and basking in the glow of my gorgeous Christmas tree. And today we'll also be taking a break from our usual makeup looks. Now, a small part of this video, I will still be talking about makeup, but that's going to be later on towards the end. A few of you have asked me to make a more personal, chatty video, and since it's Christmas, I thought no better time. So before we get started, I wanted to do a couple disclaimers. As I'm sure most of you have already gathered, my life is not all sunshine and rainbows. I know that when I make content for you guys, I try to keep everything really light and fun and silly. And when I play in makeup with you guys, I like to take a break from any problems or difficulty in my life and just let my mind focus on the makeup and the artwork and having fun. I know this probably seems like I'm about to bombard you guys with some horrible news or drama or something like that, but that's not at all my intention. So I will be focusing on a few topics today that are sad and are not positive, but the majority of what I'm going to talk about is positive. But I do want to warn you beforehand, I am going to mention the loss of my pet. It was extremely hard for me this year. I know a lot of you can relate, so if you don't want to hear about that, I have plenty of other videos for you to enjoy that are light and I don't mention anything negative in them, except for when I don't like a product or something. When I do talk about the things that are not the most positive experiences that I've had this year, I'm going to try to keep it really brief because I know why most of you guys come to my channel. You come for beauty and fun and to have a laugh now and then. And I want you guys, when you watch my channel, I want you to forget about your problems and not worry about mine. Just take a break from whatever negativity is in your life and just chill out and have fun. I know one of the hardest times in my life was a few years ago, and that's when I really started getting into YouTube. I found a YouTuber who posted really just silly, zany, funny content, and I could turn on his channel and leave it on during the night. I'd fall asleep to it. It would make me forget about what I was going through and just focus on the joys and the silly things in life. So overall, that's the point of my channel. That's my intention for making these videos. I know that I'm prattling a lot. My intro's about to play and then we'll get started. And this video is probably going to be called My Life is in Flux because it is. I have both good, bad, and interesting things happening. You guys stay tuned. We'll talk all about it. Alright friendos, I got my tea out. I'm ready to talk. I know that Taylor Wynn always has her coffee with her whenever she tries to talk about something sort of difficult. I've kind of stolen the idea from her. Cheers. Alright friendos, I'm going to eat the frog and talk about the most difficult thing first. I promise you there is going to be a silver lining to this eventually, but what happened is painful nonetheless. This year I suffered a great loss. My beautiful, wonderful cat of 14 years started showing signs of health problems, and I lost her earlier this year. She brought a lot of joy and a lot of chaos into my life, and I know that that sounds strange, like brought a lot of chaos into your life. That's absolutely something that I appreciated about her. I'm a little chaotic myself. I'm super messy. I can be carefree, but I can also be really stubborn, and my cat was the exact same way. And her loss definitely changed the whole vibe of my house. Now, most of you know I live with my sister, her boyfriend, my best friend, and business partner, and we all really felt the mood of the house just shift. And while I miss her every day, I'm really glad that she's not suffering. And one day I hope to catch her on the flip side. With that said, I'm trying to fight getting emotional, but some time has passed, and although I could never replace her, I'm ready to let new love into my life. So this next part I'm going to be really brief about, or I'm going to attempt to be very brief about this. My intention is not to discourage anyone from adopting a pet from a shelter or from a foster home. It's just to share my experience and to let you know that things are not always on the up and up, and sometimes just life happens. Accidents happen, people make mistakes. Unfortunately for me, I got hit twice in a row. And again, I'm not saying that this will happen to you or that it will probably happen to you if you try to go this route. It's just be aware it can happen. So the first thing that happened was I tried to adopt a cat and I ended up getting cyberbullied. And I feel like I'm way too old to be getting cyberbullied. I feel like that's like something for high school students, or it just blows my mind that people in my age group as a grown adult choose to act in this way. So this one isn't the most heartbreaking of the two stories, but it's aggravating, and I'm not trying to get you guys aggravated, okay? But I have no intent to make you guys get upset with me. Just letting you know what happened. There was a pretty cat that I wanted to adopt, and the place where she was at was about 55 miles from my home. This place is out in the middle of nowhere, just to be clear. And this was a pseudo foster home situation. So what I mean by that is there was a veterinary office that was affiliated with a foster system. And I'm not going to say any names because people make mistakes, and I'm not going to let one mistake that I'm aware of trample their business, or I don't want to slander, and I don't want to influence someone to not adopt a poor little cat that is completely innocent in this. Again, the cat is 55 miles away from my home. It says on their website that you have to be living within 50 miles of where the veterinary office is located. I believe this is because they want you to keep taking your cat to that veterinary office for life. You know, for the lifespan of the cat, they want you to give them your business. Understandable. That's not always possible. Owners move away all the time. So in their perfect world, the owner of the cat would be their continual customer. I sent them a text and I asked, I know that it says that it's mandatory that you be within 50 miles of the veterinary office. I am 55 miles. Is that still okay? Or can I apply? And I listed out the name of the little cat that I wanted. Now, mind you, I don't know if I was talking to the same person the entire time, but the responses I got were off. Instead of giving me a real yes or no answer, they just responded by sending me an application. So I figured, okay, I guess they're busy. I'll just fill out the application. I assume it's okay, or they wouldn't have sent me the application to fill out. So I fill it out, I send it in. About a week goes by and I have not heard a word. And the person takes to Twitter, or I guess it's the same person, I don't know for sure. But someone under the Twitter handle for this business tweeted out that the business was probably going to go under. And when I say the business, I don't mean the veterinary office, but the foster system associated with the veterinary system. They said that it was probably going to go under, that they had 0 adoptions, that they were running out of money and supplies, and they were asking for money. So I thought, how terrible. It sounds like the business is going under. So I texted them again and I'm like, hey, I just wanted to check on my application, and I'm going to call the cat Dora. Hey, I just wanted to check on my application for Dora. I know you all must be incredibly busy. I saw online where you guys might be going out of business, and I was a little bit concerned. If it makes a difference, I will sponsor another cat in addition to adopting the one that I applied for. And sponsoring, if you're not aware, a lot of times you can pay for basically the food and housing of another cat without actually adopting it. So that makes it easier for foster parents to agree to keep a cat in their home while they're waiting for their forever home. Whoever responded to me via text did not respond to me very cordially at all. They essentially told me that even if their business were to go under, that they wouldn't abandon the cats that are already in foster care, that they would remain in foster care. So that's fine. So, I replied to them back something nice, like, I'm glad to hear this because the work that you do is so important. And I just left it at that. So then I don't hear anything. Then later that day on Twitter, now this person didn't at me, but they still tweeted out my name. And it made me feel really uncomfortable. Whoever was involved with their Twitter decided to expose another person, not myself, but another person, and basically show all of their DMs that this person had sent. So this person was out of line, and we're gonna call this man Dave. So Dave was out of line. He was upset that he had filled out the same application that I had about the same cat and gotten turned down. He had owned a similar cat, like similar breed of cat, and that cat had recently died. I think he said it was like 2 weeks prior to him filling out this application. And basically, he was very upset that they wouldn't let him adopt. He said something along the lines of he used to be a TV anchor and he could bring in a lot of money for their veterinary practice and the foster home system, and he can't believe that they just wouldn't let him adopt and that he was going to leave them a terrible review. Okay, out of line, but this guy's clearly grieving the loss of his cat. So on this application, they ask for a lot. One of the things that I was asked to do was to summarize my home environment, talk about myself, and if I had any other pets. Well, I disclosed to them that my cat had passed away earlier in the year. While I wasn't trying to replace her, because let's be real, you can't ever really replace a pet. Like, sure, you can get another pet, but if your pet is really special to you, then they'll always have a special place in your heart. And while you might have love to give, it's not a true replacement. I didn't say in my application that I was looking to replace my cat. I just said that my cat had passed away and that I didn't have another pet. And that person tweeted my name out and said to me and this man Dave that replacing a cat is the wrong reason to try to adopt a pet. And while it was really ugly and rude, all I can do is keep moving and wish that person better, because clearly they don't possess the empathy to understand the pain that that man must have felt, or how wrong it was to tweet out my name when I really hadn't done anything wrong. I don't know. Maybe you guys will hear the story and you'll think differently. There's two sides to every pancake. But that was shocking to me. What happened was when she tweeted this out was her stans came first. They agreed. They were propping her up, even though she had exposed all these DMs with this guy's information. My DMs did not get exposed, but his did. Yeah, at first I couldn't believe the Twitter mafia that she had. That was like, yes, he's awful. And she posted that this man had threatened her, and then that's where she got into trouble, because people started reading the DMs and there was nothing in there about him threatening her. And she was like, well, he threatened to leave me a bad review, and that's the same thing. And it's like, no, it's not. When she started getting just like 2 or 3 messages expressing criticism, she deleted the whole thing, which I'm glad that she deleted the whole thing. And I decided at that point that I was going to delete my Twitter, because I had been on the fence about it for a while, and I realized a lot of people who are big into like cancel culture and that kind of thing just sort of hang out on Twitter. I just don't want to be a part of that. And I'm not saying if you're on Twitter that that's your game, or that's why you're there, or that you do that, or that you would ever dream of doing that. But there are a lot of people on Twitter and that's their game. That right there was just enough for me to be like, nope, I'm done. Then the second thing that happened is I tried to adopt another cat. This one I don't feel like was malicious. It was just human error. There was an intern working at the shelter that had this cat that I was really interested in. I had seen her little pictures, and she had a biography that sounded like something I'd really be interested in. Said that she was very friendly and outgoing. And I have older parents that come and visit, and when they come and visit, they want to pet the cat and be affectionate with the cat. I was looking for a cat that wasn't like a shy cat. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for my personal taste, I was hoping to get a cat that wasn't too shy. So it said that this was like the friendliest cat ever, and she was really sweet and affectionate, and I was like, okay, that's what I want. And I filled out the application. I didn't hear back from them for like 2 weeks, and then I just decided to call. And at that point, an intern answered, and I asked, has anyone filled out the application on marbles? And the guy was like, I haven't seen any applications come through. And I was like, great, I'd really like to adopt her. I know that you guys are closed due to what's going on in the world. By the way, most shelters near me are closed. Like, you have to arrange some sort of appointment or just do basically all of the adopting process almost in entirety online. So yeah, so I'm just communicating with this person online and over the phone. I'm pretty sure that you're getting the cat because you're the only person who's filled out the application. And I was like, really? I was like, no one's called me. And he's like, yeah, one of the main techs has to be the one to sign off on everything, and they haven't been in yet. But I had talked to them because I saw your application, and yeah, as soon as they come in, it'll all be finalized. And I was like, oh, great. I asked if I could FaceTime with the cat, and we worked that out, and I got to see the little cat and talk to it, and it just seemed like the greatest thing. Now, mind you, this guy is really young and he's an intern. I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up because there was a posting online for this cat. That's how I found it. And the posting came down, so I couldn't find it anymore. And I was like, oh no, they gave the cat to someone else. So I ended up calling back there, and I was like, hi, I haven't heard anything back on Marbles. Your intern told me that I could adopt her, and they were like, yeah, she's still here. And I was like, oh, well, the posting came down. And they were like, oh, we put it back up a few minutes ago. And they put up a posting, and it was not the same cat. So that part was kind of shady. The cat looked similar, but it clearly wasn't the same cat. And they posted about the cat's personality, and it said that it would take some time for her to warm up to you, and they were working through a few behavioral problems with her, and that the cat was basically a biter. Again, not saying that the cat doesn't deserve to get adopted, but that was not the cat that I was told I was going to get. So that right there was pretty disheartening. It was basically a situation where you fill out an application and you just hope that they will accept you. So I decided after that happened that I was going to put a stop to that. I wanted to have more control on getting a cat. I decided that I would go through an ethical breeder, and once I filled out a contract and put a deposit, the cat would be mine. I wouldn't have to deal with interns. I wouldn't have to deal with overly intrusive applications, because some of them, they ask some very personal questions that it boggles my mind that you need to know this information in order to adopt a pet. And I get why you need to ask some questions and delve into some things, but some of the things that I saw on certain applications were just a little too intrusive for my liking. Like, just being real, I don't feel like I need to disclose my marital status or lack thereof in order to adopt a cat. Copies of my tax returns for the last 3 years so they can see my income. That's just a little bit too much. There were some that I saw that asked for that. So guys, I have put down a deposit, and all I want for Christmas is a cute little kitty. Now granted, this may blow up in my face because I have not seen this cat in person. It's in a couple states away from me, supposedly. I'm really hoping that I'm not getting scammed. I don't think that I am, but you never know. So I was able to put down a small deposit, and then I'll have to pay the rest upon receipt of the cat. So you guys stay tuned. A few of you asked me to make a video about what I want for Christmas. I asked for my family members who would otherwise have bought me a present to instead give me money towards my new little cat. And I found the cutest one, and I really hope that everything turns out okay and everything's on the up and up. We'll all find out together, but I can't wait to have my cat and to just give them the best life I possibly can, and to play with them and hold them and feed them and be a cat mom again, because I really do miss being a cat mom. That was pretty heavy. It took me a while to get through. I know I said I was going to be brief, and that kind of was the brief version of what happened. Some of that was even more extensive, but I don't want to get people upset, so I'm just going to try to make it as non-dramatic as possible and just get to the point of what happened. My life is in flux. I think I'm about to be a cat mom again. The other things are much, much lighter. My hair is in flux. I'm blonde for the moment. I didn't intend for it to be this white on top, but here we are. I think I'm gonna go back to being like a fire demon looking thing. I'll have my sister post a picture soon because she knows exactly what I'm talking about. She was the one who said I look like a fire demon with my hair that way. But I think I'll do that before the first of the year, I hope. And then also, I had something that I never thought would happen. I mean, I had something that I didn't think would happen this soon, and it's because you guys have supported my channel so vigorously and so loyally. Thank you all so much for your likes, for your comments, and for your views. This would not have happened without you all. So I actually had a company contact me and tell me that they want to send me out some PR, which is insane. I only have 185 subscribers, but you guys are the absolute best. You all are very engaging and insightful and just wonderful. So the company that told me that they want to send me out some PR is a company called Merit. I was looking and they do have a couple of items that are best of Allure beauty winners. Pretty cool. And all the products that they're going to send me have really high ratings on Sephora. But you know me, I may not feel the same way, and I'll be sure to tell you if things are not 100% to my liking. Again, I'm actually shocked. Like, I would be afraid to send me PR. Like, I'm just so blunt sometimes. But I don't know. I guess they have confidence in their products. So we'll find out together. That company's called Merit, and they let me pick out 6 different items. The packaging looks really pretty, and I am absolutely looking forward to trying on some of it with you guys and seeing what we think. So that's very exciting. But yeah, I'm also hosting Christmas here in a few days. Got my stinky little sister some makeup. I got my little sister some cool beauty gifts. So hopefully we can follow up and get her thoughts on it. I would love to get her on the channel, but I'm not going to push her because right now she says that she just doesn't feel comfortable being so open on the internet, and I 100% understand. Again, I'm not going to push her, but I know a lot of you have asked. So maybe, hopefully in the future, maybe her life will be in flux, and then she'll become a new influencer, and then we'll compete. Sibling rivalry is a powerful thing. She's not paying attention to anything that I'm saying, even though she's in the same room as me. Thank you for listening to me babble on. I hope that this wasn't too negative or distressing. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm really hoping to get my little boy. If I do, we will have a video all about him because he is so cute. Like, he's the cutest kitty I've ever seen. So just stay tuned. Alright guys, Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you all can find some peace and joy this time of year. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys know that really does help me to grow. When you don't subscribe, I sink into melodrama and pretend to cry. Should you choose not to subscribe, we both have to go on our lives, never knowing what could have been. Like that. Alright guys, peace. Have a great one. Bye.